Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jamila and I love all things beauty. I love all things makeup, I love all things skincare, and I especially love finding high-end and luxury beauty products at bargain prices. Yes, we do. Okay, so I am back. And I know that doesn't make any kind of sense because I've uploaded videos like a couple of days ago. But in all reality, I actually haven't filmed in like 3 weeks. So I'm just getting back into the swing of things, kind of figuring out how everything works, you know, the whole shebang. And today's video is an exciting one because I am doing an unpack with me. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I was on vacation last week. And honestly, before that vacation, I wanted to do a pack with me thing so I could show you guys all of the makeup and skincare that I like to travel with. But the way my life is set up and the way that I pack for vacations, or honestly pack for any kind of travel, is that I leave a lot of packing to the very last minute. So I'm usually packing my bag kind of like the night before. So there was absolutely no way in which I could have filmed and edited and uploaded a video showing you guys the makeup and the skincare that I was planning to take with me because it just wasn't gonna work out. Now, that being said, I did still want to show you guys the makeup that I did travel with. And I think that this is going to work out a little bit better because in doing this unpack with me, I get to show you guys all of the makeup that I took with me, let you guys know how I felt about it, what it was like using it, and whether or not I would bring it again, you know, basically giving you guys all of the mistakes that I made with packing and what I would do differently. So without further ado, let's just dive into the video and let's unpack my makeup. So first things first, these are the bags that I traveled with. All this. So this was actually my makeup bag. So all of my makeup products were included in this bag. And I really enjoyed this bag because it's clear and I could see everything. So I was really happy about this. And this actually came as a 2-pack. So I got this clear bag and then I also got this smaller one, which actually fits inside this big one. And I used the smaller bag for my brushes. And then the last bag that I showed is this beautiful bag. I love this. I got this at TJ Maxx, and honestly, this could be like a little clutch, but I use this to carry my skincare. So we'll dig into this last, and we'll do the makeup first. So like I said, I used these clear bags for my makeup products, and I actually picked up these bags at Primark for, I want to say like $4 or $5, so they were extremely inexpensive. Now when it comes to makeup bags, I have a ton of them, but what I've always wanted was a clear bag because I like being able to see all of my products at first glance, just being able to rotate things and find where everything is versus having a bag where I can't see and everything and I have to dig through. Now, with that being said, this is pretty basic. It doesn't have any special compartments. Everything is kind of just thrown in here for the most part, which is why I have this separate pocket. Well, which is why I'm using the separate pouch essentially for my brushes. I do have other makeup bags where there's a compartment for brushes and then multiple compartments throughout. But I did think that this was nice and compact enough that I could fit a ton of makeup in here and still be able to, you know, travel really nicely with it without taking up a lot of room. Another thing when it comes to traveling with my makeup is that I prefer to leave my makeup in my carry-on bag. And that's mainly because I don't want things to break, I don't want things to spill, and if I'm taking some really expensive makeup with me, I really want to make sure that it's safe and secure, and I know that I can control that versus having it in my checked luggage. So let me first start off with my makeup. So opening the bag, this is everything. And like I said, everything was pretty much kind of like thrown in here. And I didn't pack a lot with me. And that is because when it comes to wearing makeup on vacation, I don't wear makeup a lot. And we were in Jamaica. So one, it's hot as hell. And I'm not putting on makeup to go to the beach, to go to the pool, like for excursions and stuff. I'm not wearing makeup. So I only essentially wore makeup for dinner. So I didn't wear it very often, so I knew that I didn't want to pack a ton of makeup because I just wasn't gonna wear it that much. And I obviously understand that what you pack on vacation depends on where you're going, what kind of trip it is. So just bear that in mind that this was for Jamaica, being in the Caribbean where it's hot, and I plan to be in water every day, which we did. Also, another fun fact, all of the makeup that I'm wearing on my face right now was using the makeup that I packed on vacation. So you guys will see in a video coming up very shortly that I wanted to show you guys how I used the makeup that I packed on vacation to apply my makeup and how my application differed than how I would typically wear it when I was at home. So all of this was created using exactly what was in here. All right, so I'm just gonna grab the things, so they're not gonna be in any specific order of application or anything. So the first thing that I packed with me was, in terms of foundation, was the Urban Decay Stay Naked foundation. I only packed one foundation. I did not need multiple options, and I decided to go with Stay Naked, and this is in the shade 70 Warm Yellow, because I was going to a very warm, hot, humid country, and I needed my makeup to be matte. And this is one of my absolute favorite foundations overall, but also one of my favorite matte foundations. This is an extremely matte foundation. If you have oily skin, or if you just need a matte foundation because you're going somewhere specific where it's hot, this is perfection. And I knew this wouldn't fail me, so that was the foundation I decided to go with. Now, in terms of primer, I actually went with 1.5 primers. And I say 1.5 primers because I packed the Cover FX mattifying salicylic acid primer, as well as the Good Molecules priming moisturizer. Now, this is intended to be both a primer and a moisturizer, so I call it like half a primer, because I don't think it does a great job at priming the skin, but it is a okay moisturizer. But given that, you know, when you're traveling, you have a limited amount of space, I wanted to try to consolidate things as much as possible. And because I knew that this doesn't do a great job of moisturizing and it's more appropriate for oily skin or for hot climates, I thought that this was a good option to pack. And again, because it was hot, I knew that I wanted a matte primer to keep everything in place. So I went with the Cover FX one. And this also has salicylic acid. And you guys already know I have acne prone skin, so I needed something that would be helpful to my skin as well. Now, I didn't really know a lot about this before I went with this primer, so it was also a bit of a gamble for me because I hadn't really used this before. And overall, I think it's good. I think it's a decent primer. I would definitely use this again. I don't know how much this costs. I'm pretty sure I got it at TJ Maxx for a really ridiculous reduced price, but I think it's a good primer. I enjoyed using it. Next, bronzer. So I love bronzer. I have so much bronzer, and I didn't know which one that I wanted to go with, but I opted for the LYS bronzer, and this is in the shade Strength. Now, this is a beautiful bronzer, and I think that it is perfect for my complexion, as well as it would have been perfect if I got slightly deeper, which I did while on vacation. I also appreciate that this bronzer is, I want to say, $16 or $18. So it's extremely inexpensive, which is one of the things that I also look for when I travel. I don't like taking really expensive makeup with me when I travel, because if things break, if things get mislaced, it hurts. It makes me feel a kind of way. So I wanted to take some things that I knew I wouldn't be too mad about if it got lost, because it's affordable enough that I could easily replace it. So for brows, I actually took with me my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil, and then I took my MAC brow pomade. And the way I did my brows for vacation was very, very different. Now, normally I spend a lot of time doing my brows, but I wanted something that was quick and easy because I don't have 15 minutes to sit there drawing on my brows and then carving things out. So I took the Benefit Precisely My Brow because I think it's just a really solid brow pencil. Like, you can't do any wrong with it, and it's really easy and quick to do your brows with it. But I also took the MAC brow pomade. Now, I have been using this brow pomade for years. It's been one of those products that's been in my routine for so long that I keep repurchasing it because I've been using it for so long. Now, this is also one of those quick and easy ways to do your brows. This is the type of pomade that I would literally just like flick through my brows without carving it out, just to give it a little bit of extra color, a little bit of extra pigment, and it's like done. So those were the two brow products that I took, and they made it really quick and simple to get my brows done. Now let's talk about a product that I actually took with me but did not use, and that is liners. So I actually packed 2 liners for my trip. I took my Marc Jacobs eyeliner, and this is a brown eyeliner. And then I took this mini MAC Liquilus liner, and I didn't use these at all. Every now and then I will just not do eyeliner because it's an extra step. I'm not that good at doing it, if I'm being honest. So like, I packed these thinking that I would use them, but I never touched them. Would I repack these again? Yes, I do think that it's important to have the option of eyeliner in my collection, but I don't know if I would ever use them, but it's nice to have them, and these don't take up a lot of space. So next, let's talk about pressed setting powder. For my setting powder, I took with me the Dior Backstage powder. Now this one is probably one of the newer powders in my collection, but it has quickly become a fave. This is actually in the shade 5 Neutral. And the reason why I really like this powder, and it's, you know, it's so used and it's only been a couple of months, is because of how lightweight this is. Now this is a translucent powder, and it feels so light, like there's nothing on your face. And even though I had a matte foundation, I still like setting my foundation, so I knew I needed a setting powder. But I also, when I'm traveling, I don't like my makeup to be heavy. I mean, I don't like my makeup to be heavy generally, but especially not when I'm traveling, and especially not when I'm on vacation. And this is probably my most lightweight powder. So this was the one that I took with me on vacation. It's probably the most expensive one too, but you know, I needed something that would get the job done. Now, blush. I think I went back and forth on blush because I didn't know what shades I would want. So I ended up landing on my NARS Basic Instincts number 2 Cheek Quad. And that's because this has 4 blushes. Now, if I'm being honest about this quad, I don't use these two. This one is an extremely shimmery, very shimmery blush that I think I have to be in the mood for. Oh, you can't even see it, like, and yeah, it's very shimmery. This one is extremely intense in terms of like almost too intense of a color that I would ever really put on my cheeks. But these two shades blended together, perfection. And I think that was why I took this blush, because I love how these two shades applied look on my skin. And I think that regardless of whatever I was doing, whatever look I was going for, that those two shades would have been appropriate. So I packed the quad thinking that it would be more versatile, but I only really ended up using 2 shades mixed together, as I only really do. Next, let's talk about concealer and under eye or loose setting powder. So I packed my Pat McGrath concealer because this, like, you can do no wrong with this concealer. And honestly, had I had my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, I would have used that one. Now, that's because the Pat McGrath is an extremely full coverage concealer. And I don't really like full coverage looks generally, but I also, like I said, want things that are lightweight for travel. No, this was the only one that I had, so it was the only one that I could pack. I'm not mad that I packed this, and to be quite honest, I used this maybe 1 to 2 nights. I didn't use this at all. I rarely ever reached for this. I only pretty much stuck with foundation, and luckily I don't have deep under eyes or super dark deep set under eyes that I can get away with just wearing foundation and not doing any concealer. Now, I also packed my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder for those, 2 random nights where I did wear concealer, because if I'm wearing concealer, I want to set that concealer. And this loose setting powder, like, it is tried and true. Like, it is a holy grail for a reason. It just works. It's super lightweight. And what I actually like about this translucent powder is that it truly is translucent. And if I wanted to, I could set my entire face with this powder without actually feeling like it's going to be like ghostly or, a white cast. So this, especially the little mini, is perfect for travel. I've taken this on so many trips with me, and there's still so much product in here. Now, when it comes to highlighter, I like having options. I like having something that's more gold and then something that's also a little bit more pink. So when I thought about highlighters, I immediately thought about packing my Pat McGrath highlighting palette. And this is because this is a trio. You get 3 highlighter shades. This one is a more pinky shade. I mean, it looks white, but it's a pink shade. This is a gold shade, even though it looks white, and this is a bronze shade. So you have that light gold, the pink, and then the bronze. And I thought this was just perfect because I get 3 different options, and if I'm being honest, I was gonna rotate between these 3 in terms of highlighters anyway. I wouldn't want anything more or anything less than that. So this was a no-brainer, and I definitely used all 3 of the highlighters in this palette. And the other good thing about this palette is that you can use these highlighter shades as eyeshadow. This pink is like a beautiful dual chrome. It's stunning. Same with this like light gold here. So I think there was a lot of versatility in this palette, which is why I had to have it. I'm saving eyeshadow for last, so let me quickly show you guys my lip products. So I packed with me the Morphe lip liner in the shade Toastie. I never actually used this, and that is because I packed my MAC lipstick in in the luster shade Touch. Now you guys already know I love this. This is my holy grail. It's like the perfect nude, and it does not need a liner. Now for mascara, I packed this MAC mascara, which honestly was a brand new mascara. It was in my collection, so I just grabbed it because I thought, you know, let me take a new one to go with me. So I had no idea what to expect with this. It's definitely not the best mascara. I would have chosen a different one now that I know about it. Like, the wand is extremely thin, extremely fine. I think it does a good job at coating the individual lashes, but it doesn't give any extra volume or any extra va-va. Like, I'm wearing it right now, and it's nice, it's cute, but I have way better mascaras that I've used before, so I would have chosen a different one. Finally, eyeshadow palettes. So I packed 2 eyeshadow palettes with me. The first one being the Too Faced Natural Nudes palette. Now when it comes to vacation, I try to stick to natural nude eyeshadow because it just goes with everything. Like, I'm not gonna pack any really colorful eyeshadow for like one specific outfit. I'm gonna keep it nude. And this is the perfect nude palette. I hope some of you guys pick this up during the Ulta 21 days sale because this is stunning. And I love that you can get both sort of pinky nude looks as well as more like copper bronzy nude looks. So I got so much use out of this palette. Now, this is Too Faced. It's cute. This is actually probably one of their better quality. The mattes in here, phenomenal. Like I said, I used it to create this look. But when it comes to these shimmers, it's Too Faced shimmers, which are nice, but not, you know, sometimes you need a little extra. So I also packed my Pat McGrath Risque Rose Quad because I wanted something that gave me a little bit extra punch. And this is all of Mama Pat's special shades. And I packed this because I wanted to have shimmers that I could top on top of the shimmers from the Too Faced palette to give me that extra oomph. So I would, you know, use the Too Faced palette and then add these shimmers on top of it to give me a little something extra. And I really do think that these 2 palettes are very, very beautiful companion palettes. Like, I think you can really easily see how the color stories here complement each other. So that was all of the makeup that I packed with me on vacation. So now let me show you guys my skincare. Oh wait, I forgot to show all my brushes. So let me quickly show you guys my brushes. So I packed more brushes than I actually needed or used. So when it came to eyeshadow brushes, I picked like a variety of blending brushes as well as lid brushes. And one of the important things that I think people should do when they travel, especially with their brushes, is to get these mesh covers because they help you maintain the shape of your brushes and protect them essentially. So this is really great for travel and also for like just drying your brushes in general. So like I said, these brushes are from various brands. I have some Morphe, I have some e.l.f., I have some Marc Jacobs in here, and I packed a good mix of blending brushes as well as lid brushes. But what I really want to show you guys is sort of like the face brushes that I brought. Now I did pack one sponge with me, but I didn't use it at all. I only stuck to my brushes. And the first 2 brushes that I want to show you are is one that I have from Morphe, and this was essentially my foundation brush for the entire trip. And I thought that this did an amazing job at blending out my foundation. And then I also got this Sephora one, which has a very similar, if not identical shape to the Morphe one. It's just smaller. And I used this for blending out my concealer. So these were 2 brushes that I got a lot of use out of. I also used this Real Techniques brush for my loose setting powder, so to set the under eye, which got a lot of use as well. For my big powder brush, I brought this one. Now this is an old brush that I've had in my collection for a while, and it's on the dense side, but I think it's so perfect. Like, this is one of my favorite powder brushes. You can see the design has been peeling off, so it's been there for a minute. For bronzer, I brought my Tarte brush. It's a little bit like dense and tapered, but I think that this does a really great job at applying bronzer like very precisely, which is what I wanted. For blush, I brought my Smashbox. This is the angled blush brush. I realized that I like angled brushes when I'm applying blush, and this was just perfect. And the last brush that I want to show you guys before I dive into my skincare is this Tarte. I think this is supposed to be a highlighter brush. I used to use this a lot and then I stopped using it, but I packed it on vacation and I didn't really get a lot of use out of it. Well, I did. I used it to apply my highlighter, but I didn't like the application with that brush. I would have picked a different highlighter brush going forward. So I know not to pack that again. All right. So now that we've talked about the brushes, we've talked about the makeup, let's talk about the skincare. Now, when it comes to traveling, I think skincare is probably the most important thing that you can pack. Like, you can live without your makeup, you'll be fine. But skincare, it's really hard to go on vacation and completely like forget your skincare routine. Now, I know some people have a very extensive skincare routine. Mine is on the simpler side. So I try to keep it simple when I travel as well. I try to pack only the necessities. So these were pretty much all of the skincare products that I packed, and I did not use all of them. So first thing, I packed my Dapsone acne gel because I have acne prone skin. This is actually a prescription product. I had to pack it with me. For sunscreen, I used the Super Goop Play sunscreen. This is actually really, really good sunscreen. Especially if you have a deeper complexion, you know, ashiness is like something that you get in sunscreens a lot, but this one blends into the skin really nicely. Now, I will say that it does lean on the more oily, greasy side, unfortunately, but you don't get a white cast at all. It just looks more glowy. And I really do think that this did a great job at protecting my skin as an SPF. I do have a little bit of sunburn, a little bit of peeling, a little bit of a tan, but I honestly think it could have been a lot worse. So I'm very, very happy with how this performed in terms of protecting my skin. Now, in terms of moisturizer, you guys already know I packed the Good Molecules Priming Moisturizer, but I also took with me this Clinique Moisture Surge, and this is a mini size. I did get this as a free gift from the cosmetics company store, and I should have packed a different moisturizer. Like, it's a nice moisturizer, but it's not my favorite, and I don't think it was best for the climate that we were in. I really should have packed a different moisturizer, but it did what it needed to do, so no complaints there. Now, for cleanser, I actually packed with me the Origins Frothy Face Wash. This, again, was like a free gift or a travel size something, as well as the Mamad Oil to Foam Cleanser. Now, I used this oil to foam as my pre-cleanse. So I used this to break down makeup when I wore it, and then I went in with this cleanser. And let me just say, this does an amazing job at breaking down your makeup. It really does have that oil texture, so it does break down the makeup really well. And this is a really, really nice cleanser. Now, my skin definitely did feel a little bit stripped after using both of these together, but it felt clean, which I was more worried about. Like, I can add moisture back into my skin, I can add some hydration back into my skin, but it has to be clean. So I thought this was perfect for travel. And that's the one thing that I've learned in my, years and time traveling, is that when it comes to traveling, this is the best time to use all of those samples and free gifts that you get, which is what I tried to do, because that's honestly probably the only way I'm really going to get use out of them. Now, I also packed with me this Thirsty Mud face mask, and I did not do it. I did not give myself a face mask. A lot of times when I travel, I do at least one night give myself a face mask, and I thought I would, but our days ended up like starting at like 7 in the morning, and it ended at midnight. We didn't get back to our room until like midnight most nights. And at that point, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna wash my face and go to sleep. I am not about to sit here, put on a face mask for like 15 minutes. Like, I wasn't gonna do it. So I'm really sad that I did not get to give myself any face mask for the entire trip, but I would still pack this again on another trip. And this was one of the products that I got in the CCO 5 for 15 beauty haul bag thing that I did a couple of months back. Now, there are only 3 products left. The other product that I packed and I did not use, and that was my own fault and I definitely should have used, was the Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair Serum. This serum is amazing, like so good. Now, I have a ton of samples of these that I've got, but I also do have a full-size bottle that I got as a free gift from the CCO. Now, the full-size bottle is $103. $203, but it's worth it. This is one of the best serums that I've ever used, and I packed this knowing that it would be a great serum. And this is the cutest little travel bottle, but I didn't use it at all, and that was my own fault. I definitely should have. I did not do the best job at keeping up with my skincare on the trip, and there's nobody to blame but me. Now, lastly, I packed the Glam Glow Super Toner. I really thought that I was gonna, you know, do toners and serums and all of that, and I didn't use this. This is not opened. I haven't touched this at all. Now, part of the reason why I didn't use this is because I forgot to pack cotton pads, which I would have, I mean, I didn't necessarily need it, but I would have liked to have cotton pads to be able to use this toner. And it is an exfoliating toner, which, you know, is great after you've been kind of like exploring all day, in the beach, in the pool, all of that, but I didn't use it, and again, my own fault. And the last product that I want to show you guys is the Clinique Take the Day Off Makeup Remover. Now, I brought this so that I could use it to take off my eye makeup, but like I said, I pretty much used the Mamad Oil to Foam cleanser as my sort of pre-cleanse, and it worked really well, so I didn't actually need to reach for this. I thought that this did an amazing job at breaking down not only my foundation and whatnot, but also my eye makeup, which for the most part was pretty simple throughout the entire trip. And that was it, guys. That was all of the makeup and skincare that I packed on my trip. So overall, I think that I did a really good job. While I did, you know, make some mistakes, wish there were other products that I brought with me, I do think that I was able to have really beautiful looks with my makeup that I brought, and I was able to take care of my skin with the skincare that I bought. So I'm not mad at anything that I did in any way, form, shape, or whatever. Now, that being said, like I said, I did create this look and this face using only the makeup that I traveled with, so that video will be up shortly. So make sure you guys subscribe, follow, like, share, because you want to know when that video goes up. As always, I really love and appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for supporting. If you liked this video, please like. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Every bit of support helps, and I really do appreciate it. Y'all already know I love my little channel, and I love this community and all of the support that I get. So, as always, I'm really happy to be back. Looking forward to creating more content. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye.